locations in two factories in Himachal Pradesh, one in Sri City, one in Wara, one in Dadra, and one in Ahmedabad. This particular product is manufactured in Ahmedabad as well as Wara. You saw the history. I'm not going through that. It's one of the very few companies, less than 35 companies which are listed in stock exchange, which have survived for 80 years and have crossed $1 billion revenue. So we are a select few. We will figure along with resilient ones like State Bank of India. So I mentioned that we are not into refrigerators. Other than that, we will be there practically in every part of commercial refrigeration. Simply put, this product category is meant for preservation and life extension. So it is all perishable in nature. So you need to preserve it at a particular temperature or a humidity condition in order to keep it fresh and keep the life extended. So contrary to the belief that fresh food is good, processed food is not good, that is not true. Scientifically proven is that if you preserve it at a particular condition, it is as healthy as the fresh one. In some cases, it could be even healthier than the fresh ones. I'll explain that. That will also make it interesting. It's not just about Blue Star and what it is doing. It is better to understand what is really happening. So the first one is India is the largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. And it will be within top 5 in quite a few other things. Let's say, for example, if you take fish, it could figure within top 5 in the world. It is a significant exporter of processed food as well. That we will figure as number 7 or 6, India, as an exporter of processed food. Because many countries do not produce that much, we produce a lot, and many countries do not have sufficient quantities to export. And in that context, we rank well. So it is one of the industries in ranking within top 10 to be an exporter. It won't figure anywhere else. So India has a potential to actually provide the food security to the world. Now, if you look at the world has got a problem that they do not have climatic conditions which can produce. They do not have labor that can produce food. So it is an agriculture country and it is well placed in terms of climate to produce so many fruits, vegetable pulses. So it can be the food bowl to the world. That if China is a factory to the world, India can be the kitchen for the world. That is what it is. So India has that potential undoubtedly. Now where the problem of India is that whether we are producing enough in other words, the yield itself, the efficiency, we are already the largest producer, but it can be done much more efficiently in terms of yield. Second part is connected with whether you can preserve it and keep it in a condition or meet the conditions required for export. We may not be doing that. And that requires certain techniques and technologies and a cold chain for doing that. Third factor is that it is the best way to prevent food inflation. Suddenly you find the onion price is high, or the tomato price is high, or the potato price is high. That is basically because the yield is different from the consumption pattern. So you don't have a forecasting system of what needs to be produced. The farmers continue to produce what they have to produce. That's what they know. and it can be impacted by the climatic conditions, and it can be impacted by other factors. So the once it is processed, it is the price can be stable. In other words, the processed food inflation, if you take it as against the fresh food inflation, it is just 2% or so. It is connected with the electricity, labor inflation. That's about all. Otherwise, processed food provides stability in prices. Because you are preventing the wastage, you are able to keep it in the right condition for use at a later date. Now, what is the importance of cold chain in this? So, but before that, we will understand what quantity in India is being processed. The wastage could be anywhere between 15 to 30% depending on the commodity. There are commodities in which we waste close to even 30%. There are commodities in which we waste 15% because you are not able to preserve it. It costs money to preserve. The cold chain is an expensive one. It is 24/7. It is electricity consumption, one reason. Second reason is the technology is not known. The farmers or the producers end up harvesting at a wrong time. That there are each fruit, each vegetable, each flower, you are supposed to harvest it at a particular time. It's not fully ripe, and one like banana will not be taken off when it's fully ripe because it has got a natural ripening process by which from some Madurai to Chennai, if it is coming, on the way itself it can ripe. Second is the storage conditions, that whether it is brought in a crate, whether it is brought after cutting and sorting, or everything is brought here. And the process, the knowledge about harvesting practice, knowledge about preservation, cold chain can prevent the wastage. So that is one big saving. The second one is the quality of that is, if it is high, you get a higher price, like a fully ripened uniform yellow banana of a particular size without dark spots obviously gets a better price than the one which is half rotten. And so it makes sense to use a cold chain in order to get the right product. Now, if you look at India, and also there are quite a few things can be processed, like a mango. You need not to waste it, whether a mango juice is taken, or in some cases the processed slices, like a pomegranate, the kernels can be used for export as a salad. In some cases, pineapple can be stored in cans for export. Now, the processing, if you take it in fruits, India processes just some 4.5% of the total produce. The rest of it is consumed or wasted. And the vegetables, we process around 2.7%. And the milk is high, basically because butter or curd, many things, cheese, etc., then it is around 21%. Milk may be the best example in India of a fully developed value chain. In meat, it is around 34%. That is good, and so it is a very interesting market for a company like Blue Star, because there is a huge potential where increasingly preservation and life extension is taking place. In quite a few cases, you can extend the life even by 1 year. For example, apple. Apple is harvested usually in the month of August, and if apple is when at the time of harvest, it will be at the cheapest price, and because they would like to sell it faster. Then it is procured by the processors or the wholesalers. It is stored at a particular humidity condition and temperature conditions. It lasts for 1 year or more, and practically a harvested apple lasts till June, July, and then they wait for the next order. That's why you get apple throughout the year. And year after year, you find the imported apples are lesser in quantity. Even carrot is a single harvest crop. So and turmeric is a single harvest crop. So in quite a few cases, the preservation makes sense because at the time of harvest you get it at a cheaper price, you store it over a period of time, it is made available, and wastage is prevented, and it provides higher price. That's how it works. Now, in cold chain, different products are stored at different temperatures. There are positive temperatures, there are negative temperatures. So, say for example, ice cream necessarily will have to be stored. So it is a negative temperature product. You store it in a deep freezer or a cold chain vent for it. Different flowers will need a different kind of storage. Different fruits will need different kind of temperature conditions. Different vegetables will need different kind of temperature conditions. Now, contrary to the belief that the product that is stored will become expensive. In fact, the product that goes through a cold chain becomes less expensive and more profitable for the producer. Say, take the banana example itself. So first of all, if the banana is wasted, so you don't get the price for it. By putting through a ripening chamber, you are able to get a right quality ripened banana, you get a higher price. You are able to reduce the wastage. You do not transport the stem. The whole stem is a transportation cost. It is coming to the city, and here you will have to go and dispose it off somewhere else. That doesn't happen. And that stem is a byproduct as a biofuel, and that can be used at the farmland itself. So, tell a simple example. It is in banana. The maximum penetration will be there in banana or potato or onion. These are the commodities in which huge penetration will be there. Now, Chini will present the entire range. What Blue Star brings to the market is the domain knowledge of which product, how it has to be frozen, preserved, life extended. It can be a fruit, it can be a vegetable, it can be a dairy product, it can be a vaccine. It can be, in some cases, there are even silk worms which are meant for making a silk saree. That is also to be preserved for a higher yield. So we are in the business of extending life, reducing the wastage. That is what we do. And over the years, we have built that expertise. If somebody comes and says it is a rose flower, it is to be exported to Dubai, and how it is to be stored, we have got a solution. If somebody says from Madurai it is jasmine flower, it is going to Singapore, and we know how to be processing that. It is not simply putting it somewhere. It is to be cut, processed, maintained at a particular temperature and humidity condition, and that's how it is. Now we also help the manufacturers sell their product in the right way. The ice cream brand, if they have to be displaying it, how well it will be preserved and displayed. Say for example, what is the right size, what should be the type of baskets there, so with the investment how we can maximize the storage, how the power consumption can be lesser, and most importantly, even if in a village or a small town power shuts off, how it will hold the product at that right temperature. So the product range that we have displayed, you will look at it from the angle of the expertise that is built in for that particular commodity, the power consumption feature. In visual merchandising, when you are selling whether that product is helping that retailer to sell more, because it has to be presented in a particular manner, and the initial cost is affordable and the running cost is lower, and it is sturdy. So in a retail showroom, if you are keeping the deep freezer, you can imagine every day how many times the lid will be opened and closed, and how many times it will be dragged, and it has to, quite often it will be facing the sunlight in front of a shop, east west facing shops. The sunlight will be falling on the product itself.